And now we're gonna go into the city, no, actually town. We're gonna go shopping for souvenirs and clothes. Yeah. Mana ni show lah. Mana beli apa?
Is this one cute?
I don't know. I like this one.
What?
If you're thinking about a polar bear, I like this one.
Oh yeah, that one.
Or wait, if you want a reindeer, this one's cute too. Oh,
I guess it had to go under there.
tell me about what happened to Lucy.
Lucy is gone because
What is Lucy?
Lucy is my small giraffe, a keychain from Dubai, and that time we're in a hotel. And how are we going to put this reindeer back?
You don't want it?
I didn't change it.
Okay.
So, and then they put it inside my pocket, and she said that I had to take care of the pocket, and then I didn't take care of it, and then it just fell off. Or maybe a dog took it, something.
Okay.
Or another baby took it.
Why baby?
Yeah, because the baby loves giraffes, if you want to know.
Babies love giraffes.
Yeah,
What is this, Money?
a troll.
Troll family. The kitchen stuff. Money, what fur is this, Money?
I think it's a reindeer and a wolf.
No, it's reindeer fur. Oh, look at this. Pine cones. I don't know. There.
Christmas item, I don't want to buy them.
Oh, these boots look so cute. Oh, look at that gear thingy.
Okay, I'm just going to choose the teddy bear.
Okay, that's all.
That is going to deflect up to 95% of the particles coming from the sun, and so basically most of them will get lost, and eventually, anyway, on the other side of the planet, the same magnetic field will break, and it will start to act like a broken rubber band and pull down the surviving particles toward the two magnetic poles of the Earth. And this is very important. We are talking about the magnetic poles and not the geographical poles. And why is that important? It's important. It is important because we are getting two very nice information about the Northern Light. The first one is that we know that the position of the magnetic poles is not parallel to the equator, but is crooked on the side of the planet. So basically, the Northern Light belt, which is following this pole, is going to have the same position over the Earth. And so that means that the northern lights are going to go from northern latitudes to southern latitudes and then northern again. And Tromsø, at this place over the Earth, on the Earth, is right underneath the center of this aurora belt, which means that when we have northern lights in the sky, even if they are weak, we get to see the best of the northern light that we have, because in the center of the northern light belt we have the strongest activity always. And the second information that we get from this, it is because it is that we get a very usually a nice window of time to see the northern light, and this window of time is most of the times in between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. The reason why we have this window of time is because the northern light belt is like an open circle. Real northern lights are something different, but it doesn't mean that we can't see colors. It just means that you will never see the colors like on pictures. Pictures are always brighter and more intense, and this is because we have usually we publish pictures of northern light that are long exposures, and the long exposure of a source of light is going to increase that source of light on a picture for all the seconds that we are using. And then of course what you see online is the best of the best. So photographer usually publish picture of the northern light, of the best northern light. Okay, and so that's another thing. By the way, now I'm going to tell you how the color works. The color works in a way that goes through shades. So the first northern light produced by the oxygen will be a red northern light, and this kind of red, by the way, it's invisible to our naked eyes, but some cameras can see that kind of red. So we can use the camera as a very short-term prediction tool to see what is going on, because we can shoot at the sky, and if we start to see some red color on our pictures, then we start to know that something is going on, even though we can't still see that. After that we have the first visible northern light, and the first visible northern light still is not a colorful one, but is more like a white gray northern light. It looks like a bow, very low over the horizon, going from east to west and moving extremely slowly usually. Also, it's fading out and fading in constantly, so don't worry if you see something and then you see that disappearing, because usually, especially in the beginning, the northern lights are disappearing and coming back after a while. After this one, we start to have the first colorful northern light, which is the green northern light. The green northern light is the most common and the one that we see almost every night. I have to say almost, because I told you there are reasons why we can have also nights without the northern light, but this is the way to share it.